Hello, this is Peter Austin to take a couple of minutes for the 1960s project. We're starting a series of posts, a series of slides on Instagram and Facebook, and I think LinkedIn. In fact, we've done a few already about a fabulous era I bet you don't know. I'm not sure anybody's ever tried to do this, what we're trying to do, covering things about an era that people think they know so well. And it's interesting because people don't know about these things, even people who lived at the time, who may be listening to me now. Because lots of the things in the 1960s have been kind of crowded out by one way of looking at the era. Certain books certain things that books and articles and conferences on the 60s repeat over and over and over again that don't talk about anything but the psychedelic, free love, flower power, sort of Vietnam protest, rock and roll 60s, which is important stuff and sort of interesting. But it ain't the whole story. Not even half, not even a quarter, not even an eighth. The typical view of the era leaves out the huge numbers of people who may have known about the protests, known about feminism, the summer of love, no doubt heard about the marches and the communes and the war, of course. But we're too busy raising families, going to church, starting businesses, inventing things, writing books, practicing the piano, trying to be the best they could be in whatever their choosing field was. So we want to give some attention at this project to some of these things, these people whose accomplishments you may already know, but likely don't associate with the typical story of the 1960s. In fact, I'm pretty sure you don't. If you're like so many others who are really surprised to find out, wow, that happened during this time? This happened? We get it all the time. That's what makes it so great, because we feel the same way. We're constantly finding out there was so much more than rock and roll and the protests. So not only do we want to show you things that might surprise, we even go further than the 60s itself, despite the name of the project. Yep, we have to go from 1960 to 70, of course, but we keep going after that. Because, we can't let things go until the spirit of the time fizzles out in the scandals of Watergate in 1974 and the agony of Saigon in 1975. So a decade and a half of good stuff. And we'll be posting week after week after week, great examples of human achievement in field after field, achievements you can be proud of. Things that before this project, we had no idea about. We found out that so few people did either. So we knew the project was worthwhile. But the more we looked, the more we found, and boy, do these things go a long way to explain why today looks the way it does. So sit back, relax, and we'll be posting things from literature to surgery, architecture to archeology to sports. And by the way, if you want to see the whole project that's just getting some momentum, look us up at the 1960sproject.com or shoot me a note personally at the email there, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. We discover something every single day, and we want to share it with you. It's great to have you on the journey. I hope you think it's fun to come along for the ride.